So as you can see, I do proper grown-up stuff. Everybody loves poo. Poo's funny. Okay, this next one is... I know we're not there yet, it's quite a while away, but every year I send the same list to Santa and see if you can guess how many the tight bastard has ever given me. It's called I Want. Dear Santa, I want a fit bird that the baddies can kidnap, and as they drag her away, I'll be back, and I will, with guns, lots of guns, and as I shoot the baddies, I'll make witty puns. I want to say yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, in a bad guy's face as I push him off the roof and he falls through space. I want a day off with Ferris Bueller and to meet Steve McQueen in the cooler. I want to fly through space in the Starship Enterprise and be like Ray Milland and have X-ray eyes. I want to drive a car in the sky with Marty McFly and discover old bones with Indiana Jones. I want a transformer, my own metal man, who'll kick the shit out of baddies and blow up everything he can. I want to travel in time and chat with Einstein and help make a monster with Baron Frankenstein. I want Joe Strummer back alive, Dimebag and Gary Moore, and to replace them dead, Justin Bieber, Jed Wood, Rihanna, Cher Lloyd, Cheryl Coleman, Busted, etc. and so many more. I want Simon fucking Cowell whipped with a wet towel. Then let's disembowel the arrogant little shit. I want to smoke a spliff the size of the sky, then go for a swim in a massive custard pie. I want to marry the sound of Dave Gilmour's guitar and have rock and roll babies with it born on a star. I want an end to war, trouble and strife, and Mila Jovovich to be my wife. I want to break free from your lies. You're so self-satisfied, I don't need you. I want to break free, God knows, I want to sing like Freddie Mercury. But I want to play ping pong with King Kong, have a bar fight at night, injure a ninja, take tea with the Queen, eat spaghetti with a Yeti and a lolly with Stan and Ollie. But more than this, and above them all, I want just one kiss from Lauren Bacall. Thank you. I'm going to do a serious one now, because I do sometimes write serious stuff. This is a poem called State of the Nation, and since the Tories won the thing again recently, it's more relevant again. This is basically how I see the state of the nation. They're chopping up the NHS. What's going to be left at the end is anyone's guess. And corporations are ripping us off left, right and centre. And it seems like half our taxes don't get where they were meant to. Because politicians are claiming expenses for shit they never had. And the state of our trains and public transport in general is pretty fucking bad. And hospitals are run by bureaucrats, businesses by fat cats. And it seems like half our leaders are a bunch of greedy twats. Shops and pubs are shutting down a couple of dozen a week. If we don't hurry up and sort this out, we're going to end up like the Greek. A country with no money and an economy on its knees. Somebody needs to sort this shit out. Anybody, please. And bankers got us in this mess way worse than the rest. But still they receive bonuses that take us 10 years to earn at best. The people we should look up to, those of supposedly high esteem, just toss us off and fuck our ass, if you see what I mean. And the welfare state is in a state disillusionment through the roof. And the people who are supposed to help just line their pockets and stand aloof. And music's no longer run by musicians. It's talentless shits that make all the decisions. They say, dress up pretty and play real nice. And you see this cake? We'll give you a tiny slice. It's like the Robin Hood days, but the opposite to be sure. Because what's given to the rich these days seems to be robbed off the poor. And then there's shit on the telly and shit in the news. And the whole celebrity culture makes me want to shit in my own trues. The more you have, the more you want. They say in these days it certainly fucking seems that way. There's always somebody suing other factions because nobody takes responsibility for their own actions. You sold me a cup of coffee. You didn't tell me it was hot. So when I spilled it and burnt myself, it's fine, it was my own fault. Ha! Not! How do people make money these days? Well, they put in a claim. They don't seem to know any other ways. Well, unless they become a Z-list celebrity whore and do fuck all of worth but still earn more and more. And no one's buying houses. They can't even afford the rent. And it doesn't take an Einstein to see the world is fucking bent. We've got wars we don't agree with, and doesn't it make your blood boil that the only reason we're killing these people is because we want their fucking oil? The country's in a mess, of that there is no doubt. But where are all our angry young bands? Why don't they stand up and shout? We had it in the 70s, punk said it all. It said if you don't hurry up and sort this shit out, you'll be first up against the wall. Like in the 50s, 60s, 70s and 80s, hell, even the 90s tried the best. although it was a decade that wasn't quite as bad as the rest. But where are all the protest songs from all our angry young bands? Music is supposed to reflect the times, and these days it's all fucking bland. Where's our Neil Young's, Woody Guthrie's, or Bob Dylan's? Oh yeah, they're on the X Factor trying to make the millions. They don't care what they say, they sing songs that don't make waves, and the only reason the world keeps turning is dead rock stars spinning in the graves. Music is supposed to change the world and tell it when it gets shitty, but the only thing music does these days is suck on Simon Cowell's titty. And you know, I say all this stuff and I ask all these questions, but I know I don't have any answers, but I do know that it's not all doom and gloom, because there are still cool people out there. I mean, shit, just look around this room. Can I have a tad more vocal in my monitor, please? Which is my monitor. Thank you. Okay, another nice poem. Dinosaurs. Who likes dinosaurs? Yeah. Have you ever thought what it's like to be a dinosaur, though? Of course you haven't, that'd be silly, but I have. I met one once and I asked him and he told me this. I've got that bit in it. Emo the dinosaur wants to be a dragon, so he drowns his sorrows on plant juice from a flagon. Why can't I breathe fire? Why can't I fly? Why have I got a brain smaller than my eye? I want to kidnap virgins and battle with a knight. I don't want to eat leaves, being a vegisaur is shite. And I've got no treasure, diamonds or gold, and it's not much fun being 4 billion years old. I want shiny scales and to live in Wales, but I live in Jurassic Park and didn't even get invited on Noah's Ark. He took all the animals 2 by 2, but did he ask a dinosaur? Psh, did he poo? He left us there to drown with all the rest and claimed we didn't even exist, we were just God's test. But I think I could have made it in your modern day. I'd have made a great bouncer in a nightclub on Saturday. But we've got no opposable thumbs, I can't scratch our bums, and I weigh 50 tons plus, I couldn't even get on a bus. And I've got short, crappy arms, and that's pretty rank, because it means, of course, I can never have a job in a bank. But I'd never sign on or be on the dole. I could always play footy, I'd be great in goal. And I could help fight crime just like Batman, wear a cape and a mask and be Dino Man. And I could have a pet cat and look after it real thorough. And my best friend could have been David Attenborough. But Noah was a man, and you might think this is silly, but I think he was jealous of the size of my willy. So he left us in the swamps to deal with our own mess. Well, except for my cousin who lives in Loch Ness. But now we're extinct and consigned to your history books. And I tell you what, being a dinosaur sucks. Dinosaurs are awesome. Let's do this one now. I wrote this for somebody, but tonight I'm going to dedicate it to Lindsay because she's like this. She really is. Honest. She's the toughest girl you've ever seen, and she can snort more coke than Charlie Sheen. A Kung Fu master, black belt, 10th dan. She can kick ass better than any man. She can wrestle a Yeti and kick down walls. She's got so much clip, she don't need no balls. Oh yeah, so much clip, she don't need no balls. She drives too fast for Formula 1 and once pissed in the eye of the devil's son. She likes to boogie-woogie on a roller coaster, and her gig lips up and down more than a pop-up toaster. And she once swam up Niagara Falls and has got so much clip, she don't need no balls. She once leapt the Grand Canyon on the back of a frog and outdanced Fred Astaire whilst wearing clogs. She drank more beer than Oliver Reed and smoked a King Kong bong with Cheech and Chong. She saw the Pope's ass when he shat in the woods and found a bear that wasn't Catholic but wearing snappy duds. She taught Bruce Lee everything he knows and once gave the Terminator a broken nose. She made Jack Bauer cower, beat up Stallone on her own, picked a fight with Chuck Norris and... Well, okay, yeah, so she got a head kicked in on that one. But she's got so much clip, she don't need no balls. Courtesies of L7, that song, that poem, by the way. If anybody knows L7, or girl punk band from the 70s. They wrote the clip balls line. Oh, there's another one for Lindsay. Okay, who likes horror movies? Hey. Everybody likes horror films. I love them. But I hate the way that people behave in them. Not the acting, the way people behave, because they do stupid shit like this. Let's go to the cabin in the woods, just a bunch of us, and we'll take some buds. We'll drink beer, have sex and get high, and I'm sure it'll all be fine. But they get lost on the way. A kindly stranger puts them up for the night. But he ain't kindly, he's evil. Everything ain't gonna be alright. And he's into taxidermy, got stuffed cats and dogs, and after he wants to see some more out in the shed where he keeps the logs. He's far too weird, so they all say no. Well, except for the moody goth who decides to go, and gets a chainsaw to the stomach. Chop, splat and die, you twat. Next day they set off, minus Joan, but they all just assume the stroppy cow went home. They get to the cabin, decide to explore, and one of them goes, oh look, a trapdoor. It smells of death and the light doesn't work. Maybe that's a sign, but no, he just stands there and flips the switch 100 times. And then he goes down anyway, all on his own, with a handily found candle and no chance of getting home. Axe to the head, chop, splat and die, you twat. Later at dinner, minus Judd, but they all just assume he's out exploring the wood. There's a noise outside, a scratch at the window. The macho one says, stay here, I'll go. And he goes outside with a brand new torch whose batteries instantly run out. So the silly sod decides to shout, is there anybody there? Vroom! Arrow through the eye. Chop, splat and die, you twat. The jock and the cheerleader sneak out for a shag. They take some beers and a sleeping bag. An Indian burial ground catches their eye. That's a good spot to fuck, says the silly guy. She whips off a top, jiggles her tits, lies down on the mat and says it certainly is. Spear through the chest. Chop, splat and die, you twat. Meanwhile, back at the cabin, the walls are bleeding. Finally, someone with sense says, I think they should be leaving. But the lights go out, the phone lines are cut. Does it make them rush? Does it fuck? I'm just going to the kitchen, says the tubby guy. I can't go all the way home without a snack to get me by. And I think I'll grab some beer, says the portly geezer, and thus finds Fred's severed head in the freezer. Ice pick to the brain, chop, splat and die, you twat. The rest of them panic and scream and shout, but then they run upstairs to hide instead of getting the fuck out. On the landing there's a guy with a scary mask. Are you here for Halloween, a silly bastard asks. Machete to the face, chop, splat and die, you twat. The rest of them panic and run out to the car. All they've got to do to live now is drive real far. But the engine won't start even though the car's brand new. I bet no one saw that coming. Well, except me and you. And then a Molotov lands in the driver's face and 3 charred corpses take their place. Chop, splat and die, you twat. But one of them escapes. She runs into the wood. She's the only one who's not had sex or partaken of the bud. And she runs away as fast as she can, but then trips over a piece of fresh air. And the killer, who walks as slow as a snail, catches her up with the speed of the US mail. Who the fuck are you, the screaming girl does ask. And during the struggle, pulls off his mask. It's Mr. Obvious, the audience scream. Is there nothing left original on this silver screen? Chop, splat and die, you cliched twat. But I'll see you in the sequel. All 10 of the fuckers. Okay, I've got 2 left now. And I'm going to do this for this one. You get all rock and roll. I'm going to do a cover. Now, normally when I do covers of people like John Cooper Clarke and Attila the Stockbroker and people like that, which I may do later on, because I'll be back in a bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a cover of a song that I absolutely love, and hopefully you all do, and see how many lines into it I get before you realise what it is. This time the bullet cold rocked you. A yellow ribbon instead of your swastika. There's nothing proper about your propaganda. Fools follow rules when the set commands you. Said it was blue when your blood was red. That's how you get a bullet blasted through your head. Blasted through your head. Blasted through your head. I give a shout out to the living dead who stood and watched as the feds called centralised. Serene on the screen you were mesmerised. Cellular phones sounding a death tone. Corporations cold, turning you to stone until you realise they load the clip in Omnicolour, said to pack the 9, they fire it at prime time. Sleeping gas every home is like Alcatraz and motherfuckers lost their minds. Just victims of the in-house drive-by. They say jump, you say how high. Just victims of the in-house drive-by. They say jump, you say how high. There's no escape the mass mind rape. Play it, Jack, and then rewind the tape. And then play it again and again and again until your mind is locked in, believing all the lies that they're telling you, buying all the products that they're selling you. They say jump, you say how high. You're brain dead, you got a fucking bullet in you. in line, you believe in the lies, you're bowing down to the flag, you got a bullet in your head. You're standing in line, believing the lies, you're bowing down to the flag, you got a bullet in your head, a bullet in your head, a bullet in your motherfucking head. Really is an awesome song. I hope I didn't murder it. Right, okay, I've got one more to go now, and before I do it, I just have to say a thing that I meant to say before and I forgot. It's the bucket. In a bit, there'll be a bucket going round. So anybody who doesn't know this, all the band's acts, including myself, everybody tonight is not getting paid for this. All we get is, see, there's the bucket. That's how we get paid. So when the bucket comes round, if you could all just put like a shilling in it, or one of your pound notes or something like that, that'd be great. Because yeah, this is how we all get paid for this evening, so please give generously from the bottom of your hearts. And in the meantime, I shall leave you with one final poem. And this is my biggest hatred on all this telemusic bullshit nonsense. Somebody once made me watch that programme whose name shall not be named. And this is what I wrote after watching it. And it's a poem called The X Factory. And it starts off outside a TV studio on a Saturday night when Simon Cowell turns up in his $200,000 cuntmobile. He steps out and waves at the twats that want to touch his cock, and they bray and scream like he's fucking God, and then he goes inside as hard as a rock. They fell for it again, he thinks, the foolish wankers. I can't wait to take their money to the bankers. And then, hello my showbiz people, he says, my lovely sycophants. Let's get this freak show on the road, but first, who wants to smell my underpants? Me, go the fucking sheep. So they take the places and the lights go down. For the first act, the crowd is screaming like the Beatles are back in town. And the judges say, so tell me, young pup, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to sell more records than take that. Twat! Do you not want to make great music and entertain people with your sound? Nah, I'd rather make £1 million. Okay, show us. So he opens his mouth and smeg comes out. We're all covered in it. 100 tons of talentless bullshit. The crowd have an orgasm. Oh, look, he's so pretty. No one seems to care that the music's fucking shitty. He dances better than Beyonce, they say, and he's got the abs of a young Brad Pitt. But he's fucking shit. Meanwhile, Cowell's got pound signs in his eyes, whereas anyone with sense soaks eats shit and dies. That, he says, was world class in anyone's book, and I liked it a lot, whilst thinking, fuck it, money for old rope, and I could do with a new yacht. You're a fucking diva, Cheryl Cole says. Oh, Jesus Christ, trust me, girl, if that was true, this would be the end of days. But then it's time for Act 2. They're the comedy value arsehole crew. No talent, no style, no fucking clue. 80s moves and music too, and they're about as in tune as my fucking left shoe. The judges hound them into the ground, but then, mockingly afflicted, is what makes the pound go round. The parents storm the stage, the crowd breathe in. This is where the Jerry Springer shit doth begin. How dare you diss my child? She's a goddamn princess. Too ugly to be a wag, so I made her do this instead. And she's going to be famous and she's going to be rich. I've been grooming her for this since she was fucking 6. And as a deluded parent goes in a rage, the security people drag her off stage. And then Act 3 come on the screen, but I'm nowhere to be seen. You see, I've gone outside, I've been driven to fucking suicide. Thank you. Thank you so much. And just as a total sidetrack, the pub that I go in a lot in Leeds, we have Britain's Got Talent turning up on Monday for the open mic night, and I'm doing that poem in front of them fuckers. So fucking exciting. So anyway, thank you for listening to me. We're going to have a quick changeover at the break thing. And then we have the Bourbon Hounds. Who has no connection to the real world, but in this alternate universe where he lives, he's ruining music, and I don't like him. So I wrote this about him. And his name is Simon Trowell. Why do I hate thee so, Simon Trowell? Well, let me count the ways I hate your face. You're an arrogant little shit who thinks he's it, and a smug little turd who is really quite absurd. You're smarmy and superior and think you're better than the rest, but you're just a baboon beating its chest. You're a borderline bully who's probably over the line. I think clocked, in fact, way past time? And am I being irrational and out of order? Or am I justified in thinking murder? Because you've left the musical world a post-apocalyptic wasteland, populated by cockroaches and everything that's bland. You've turned mediocrity into an art form. If I wasn't so depressed, I might be impressed. You're the poison in the pie, the karaoke king. In fact, you remind me of Emperor Ming. You were given these powers to use for good or ill, but all you do is line your pockets and fill the charts with swill. You could have been a hero, a Chaz Chandler or Peter Grant, but instead you got greedy, which is why I wrote this rant. Now you're a canny manipulator, I'll give you that. You pull them strings like it's all old hat. But why do it like this, force-feeding us piss? Why not fill your soul, that empty void, by finding us the next Led Zepp or Pink Floyd? But then, I guess you don't want a band that can think for themselves, because it might do something exciting that doesn't benefit you as well. So why not take all that money and do the decent thing, and find us a band that can bloody well sing, and write and play their own instruments and write their own songs? A bunch of rock and roll rebels with drums and guitars are what we need, not another of these clones that you continue to breed. So I'm sorry if you think you're not, but you're a fucking tool, and I wish you'd stop polluting the musical gene pool. You might have noticed I don't like that man.